Hari Om. Let's start with the prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing how to succeed in life from different perspectives. One, from the materialistic people who are agnostics or atheists, and they believe that this is the life. Life begins with birth and life ends with the death, and whatever you can accomplish in this life is what you can do. That includes whatever you can enjoy life. So it is what the scripture called it Dehatma Bhava. They are called Charvaka Matas. So materialistic people were there even in ancient times. And the success depends upon fulfilling their desires. And most of the desires are centered at the body level or the mind level or the intellect level. And we talked about the next level of people who are materialistic but religious people. They believe that the results are given by something higher. There is a higher intelligence that dictates. So they have a so-called bhakti, which Krishna calls it artho artharthis. Arthartha means they want some artham, a wealth, and that wealth is meant for fulfilling their desires. So they have a big list of go to temple and, oh Lord, I want this, and most of the karmas are done to fulfilling some desires. So they are religioustic but materialistic in the sense they want something material that they can enjoy. Their dependents can enjoy. And we have third type of people who are religious but materialistic people. They believe in something punyam and papam and dharma, besides the artha and kama, besides the gaining wealth or the fulfilling. So they have something called punyam. So I want to earn wealth and enjoy within the bounds of dharma. And that's what Sanatana Dharma also means, that where my life itself is dictated by dharma. And dharma is not only the local laws that are legal laws that I have to follow, but also there are moral laws which I should follow, called values. Krishna gives a big list of values in the 13th chapter, in the 16th chapter, in the 18th chapter, called Daivi Sampatti. So it says Amanitvam, Adam, Vitvam, Ahimsa, Kshantirajyavam, Acharya. Like that, the list of 25 values are listed in the 13th chapter. Amanitvam is not to be having a proud about what you have, and not to be proud of what you think you have, because you want to impress other people. Even though you don't have it, you say I have it. That's only to boost yourself, so that you think other people respect you because what you have or what you think you have than what you are. So materialistically you want other people's appreciation, and the more you have, the more I am. That is the mentality of this religious and the materialistic people. This mentality is there even for the other people also, but their goal is only up to either this life or this body, mind, intellect. And we're going to the fourth type of people who recognize that whatever the materialistic benefits are not going to fulfill what I want. Because ultimately they are only temporarily, and they are going to be changing. So my value system also keeps changing. What I thought is valuable is no more valuable for me now. So when I was a child, I used to think that having chocolates everywhere is the goal of life. Of course, once I became sick of eating more chocolates, that is gone. The desire is gone. So therefore, that's the goal, in which goal keeps changing because my value system keeps changing. But fundamentally, I want to be free. So a recognition that dharma, artha, kama, the so-called three purusharthas, will not give me what I want. What I want is freedom from any dependence other than myself. So if I depend on somebody other than myself for my happiness, I have it. Why? They may fulfill my desire, they may not fulfill my desire. I have expectation from everybody else, and I suffer because nobody is meeting my expectations, because they themselves have their own expectations which you are not fulfilling also. So this is a problem across the board. Everybody expects everybody to do according to what they want, and they don't do it and they complain, without recognizing that you yourself have some expectation from others also, and therefore they won't be fulfilling, and you are suffering and they are suffering. All because you depend on something other than yourself. So if I want to be free from any dependence, so therefore the sarvam paravasham dukkam, sarvam paravasham dukkam. Now any dependence on other than yourself is a dukkam only, slavery. Sarvam atmavasham sukham, depending on my own self for everything is sukham, is the happiness. That's why Krishna says in the second chapter itself, so sisa prajnasya ka bhasha, when Arjuna asks what is the state of mind of a person who is fulfilled, who is succeeded in life. Here sthita prajna means the one who is successful by all counts. So how does he behave? What is his state of mind? That's what his question actually. And Krishna answers what? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atman eva atmana tushtaha. So he is called Sthita Prajna Sadochyate. He is called Sthita Prajna. Who is Sthita Prajna? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha. All desires, O Partha, are Prajahati, are given up. Why? Because I don't need it. Why I don't need it? Because I am happy as I am. So happiness doesn't come from outside. This is for true, of course, everybody. Everybody wants to be happy. But they think happiness is having this, having that, having that. But happiness doesn't have in that also, because if happiness is there, then you should give happiness to everybody. Equal amount. But logically, when I am agitated, I want it, when I get it, my mind has become calm and quiet. The happiness that I am feeling is only I am tapping from my own self. So therefore, if I can tap that happiness by myself without depending on anybody else, then I am full, because all my desires are fulfilled, because all desires is only for happiness. And even the materialistic people want this only because they think that will give happiness. Sensuous enjoyment is only for happiness. But happiness is coming from my own self, then I don't have to go roundabout method to get happiness. And this is what called Sthita Prajna. And who is a successful person now? Not the one who is going after happiness or not to gain some material, because that material will give you three problems it comes. When I depend on material or anybody for my happiness, I have three problems that arise, are called doshatrayam. See, three defects in that. One is, number one, it is dukkha misritatvam, and number two, it is asantruptikaram, and the third one is bandhakatvam. What does it mean? Dukkha misrita means to get that, it's mixed with the suffering. The happiness that I am getting is mixed with suffering. How can that be? because I had to struggle hard to get it. And once I get it, I had to struggle hard to make sure to keep it, because suppose I want wealth, I had to struggle hard to get to become a billionaire. It's not easy. And once I have a billionaire, then I had to. It is a struggle to maintain it, because a lot of people want the same money, and they don't want to go through the same struggle. They want to take away my money quickly, and they want to become billionaire quickly. It may be it may not be dharmic from them. For them, that is the simpler way. Why struggle all that? He has it. Let me take it. So so I had to protect the wealth that I have. I want the wealth for security. Now I am worried about the security of the wealth, and I am trying to protect it. So therefore, keeping it is another struggle. And if I lose it, then I have another problem, dukkham. So dukkha mishritatvam, gaining is a problem, keeping it is a problem. If I lose, also a problem. So in all these pursuits of materialistic, these three defects are always there. And the second one is, it is a asantruptikaram, because when I get it, I feel that I'll be adequate if I get it. But once I get it, I feel that I am still inadequate. I want something more. And if that something more comes, I still want something more, because I will never be satisfied unless I get infinite, where there is nothing more for me to get. So therefore, asantruptikaram for any happiness that I get from materialistic success. And the third one is bandhakatvam. Bandhakatvam means bondage, because that develops a raga dveshas. Raga means I likes and dislikes, and I go after this bandhaka. If I don't get it, I get suffer, then I get addicted to it. This is true for any sense enjoyment. Once it gives happiness, then I get bored of it. Afterwards again I want that more. Just like coffee. I want coffee, but I can't drink more than 1 cup or 2 cups. It's become a problem. But next day again I want coffee. So this is called bandhaka, it's called habits. Habits are very difficult to get rid of. And this is one of the bigger problem in self-realization also. So when Swami said there is a habit, the American spelling is H-A-B-I-T, habit. English spelling is H-A-B, there is one more B there. So habits are difficult to get rid of, because if you remove H, a bit still remains. A bit will be there. Even if you remove A, bit still remains. Even if you remove B, it still remains. So what should I do? I had to recognize that I in the it is not the object, it is the subject I, and that is the truth, T. When I recognize that happiness comes from my own self, then only it will stop. Otherwise, I can never be fulfilled by having enjoyment of this and that. That's why people accumulate so much of wealth, and other people say, well, he has already so much, what else he needs? But that's not enough for him, he wants some more. Therefore, the pursuit for happiness, all other materialistic pursuits gives a bondage. We call dukkha mishritatvam, and it has a doshas. Now I want something that without any doshas, without dosha, this dosha. Hari Om. We start with the prayer. Om samasta jana kalyane niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahma vidwaram vasudeva sutam devam kamsa chanora mardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam bande jagadgurum tvameva mata cha pitatvameva त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविडं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं गुरुदेव देव. Hari Om. Yesterday we got sudden break in the live stream, so the talk was stopped around after 13 minutes, but we'll continue, and this may be the last talk on this series. And today we'll just wrap it up So how to succeed in life is our theme, and the success, as we said, is trying to achieve what you want to achieve. And what you want to achieve is your goal, and how you want to achieve the goal depends upon the path that is required. And now we are looking at the highest goal in life, and this in fact is the last and the most important goal in life. And first you need to recognize this is important. All other materialistic things we have recognized that will not give me the permanent eternal happiness that I want. Therefore every success is only a stepping stone, and I need more and more and more, and I can only be satisfied if I have everything in the world. And I cannot get everything in the world, because everything in the creation itself. And Taittiriya Upanishad says the Ananda scale, the happiness scale, keeps varying as you get more and more. And 1 unit of Manushya Ananda, then Gandharva Ananda is 100 times more, because they have more things that they can get. And Devananda, etc., etc., you have 100 more times the previous one, all the way up to Prajapati, whose Ananda, happiness, is 10 to the power of 26. That means 1 followed by 26 zeros. That much of Ananda. If zeros is following 1, it has a value. If zeros are before 1, it has no value. So the 1 has to be recognized, and everything else is only 0, because whatever you gain has no meaning if I have that 1. And that 1 is essentially the infiniteness, completeness, and that you can only get not by any effort, because I cannot get by any effort a infinite. Infinite cannot be obtained by any means, because the means and the goal itself are different. The means itself being different from the goal, means it gets limited. So a person who understood that is the one who has a viveka. So to recognize or to understand or to get the highest goal in life, we have to prepare the mind properly. That's what we discussed: Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi Shatka Sampatti, and Mumukshutvam. Viveka is the discriminative intellect. Vairagya, a dispassion for all other things lower. That means those that are temporal things. So we have Viveka and Vairagya, discrimination and dispassion. And Samadhi Shatka Sampatti is discipline, that everything is under control. So we have a discrimination, dispassion, and discipline. And the 4th one is desire to reach the highest. These are 4 Ds. The discrimination, dispassion, discipline, and the desire to reach the highest or the infinite, or the 4 Ds required in order to gain that. It means I have to have control, complete control of the mind. So in the Taittiriya Upanishad we said, every Ananda scale, Upanishad also says along with that Ananda, one who can get, say, Manushyananda, Devananda, or Gandharvananda, or Prajapati Ananda, every Ananda level, scripture also says that Sotriyasya Kamayatasya. So the one who has Sotriya and who does not have any desire for gaining this, he is also happy, equally happy of the same level. And the one who has complete no desires at all, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogadan, the one who has no more desire for anything because he has everything, that means he is full by himself, he is complete. And that fullness and completeness, recognition, because he is already full, not that he is going to get something full, So I don't become Brahman. Become Brahman means infinite, full or complete. Purnam. So Purnamada, Purnamidam. So Adam Purnam, Idam Purnam. This is Adam Purnam is that is finite, infinite, and this is infinite. You cannot have two infinities because one infinity limits the other infinity and both cannot be infinite. So only way is there is only one infinity. Infinity plus minus infinity is infinity only. You cannot remove something out of something. So understanding this, therefore I cannot become Brahman. I have to understand I am Brahman. That is the goal that needs to be reached. It's not something to reach, it's something to understand. Therefore scripture says to understand that only you go to a teacher. Why do I need a teacher? Because teacher comes in a way, explains that what I think of myself is not really what I am, and I have to understand, so I have to drop my misunderstandings. So misconceptions about myself, about the world, and about my relationship with the world. This is what actually Vairagya means. Vairagya means dispassion, means all the dharma, artha, kama that I have been struggling hard to get are only a means for me to understand this. Once I understood, that's why moksha is the fourth one. In the marriage time, we say dharmecha, arthecha, kamecha, naticharami. I am taking this lady, a wife, for dharma, artha, kama. He doesn't say moksha. Because moksha, I am on my own, she is on her own, because it has to be recognized. So once I recognize, so I have to recognize what? I am Brahmasmi, that means I am infinite. But what about the world? World is, I am the very substantive or adhara or adhisthana for the world also. So therefore this requires, the understanding requires three aspects involved, and that's what scripture says called Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi means you are that. Three words. Tattvam Asi. So you are that. What is that I am? You are that what you are seeking. What am I seeking? Infinite, inexhaustible happiness that I want to be. You are already that. Then why am I seeking? If I am already happy, why am I looking for happiness? You don't know that you are happy. I don't know that I am infinite. So what is required is the knowledge about my own true nature and about the world. So first, I should know who I am. That's called Tvam Padartha Vichara. I should know what is that. The whole universe that I can point out as that. And I need to know Tat Padartha Vichara. And also I should know what's my relationship with the world. That is called Asi Padartha Vichara. Asi means equal. So right now I am this. That's why you introduced yourself. I said our ego, ahankara, our biodata is nothing but I am this. Now I should know what is that I am and what is this, and I should know proper equation, is it valid or not, and what is real valid equation, that I need to know. So first inquiry is who am I? So who am I? People say, who am I? Most of the Ramana Maharshi's disciples think that all you have to do is who am I inquiry. Who am I inquiry is only one part of the equation, the Tvam Padartha Vichara. So who am I? First I need to know. Who am I? I am a subject. Everything else is object. So object cannot be I. That's so simple. So anything that is objectifiable cannot be I, because I am a subject. So how am I going to know I? I cannot say I am again this or that, because any this or that is an object. I cannot be this or that. So all my biodata is meaningless to me, because I am not this. That's what biodata is. So I am not that. I may use my biodata for transaction purposes. I don't have to go to airport, so what's your name? Say, I am not this, I am not this, I cannot say. For transactions I can use, knowing very well I am not really that, but for transactionally called Vyavaharika Satyam, I can transact with the world just like I am on the stage for a drama. I am playing a king, knowing that I am not really a king. I am just a regular guy on the street. But in the drama I am playing a king's role. So I can play the role of a king in the drama, knowing well I am not really the king, but I can play beautifully, knowing that I am an actor playing the role. In the same way, I am all my transactions in the world. I am a scientist, I am this, I am that, I am husband, I am daughter, I am employee, I am all that can go on. I am an owner of this account. So that your bank account is different from my bank account. There is no confusion in that. Oh, Advaita means everything. Somebody told me, you are an Advaitin. This is a poison. Poison also you are. Drink poison. That's a stupidity. Advaita, just as if I understand that everything, electron, protons and neutrons, I am a scientist, I understand everything is nothing but electrons, protons and neutrons. That doesn't mean that I am going to eat garbage, even though that's also electron, protons and neutrons. A delicious food on the table is also electrons, protons and neutrons. I can discriminate at a transaction level, knowing very well fundamentally they are all same. Gold is same as iron, iron is same as dust, because everything electron, protons, neutrons. But transaction level I can differentiate, while knowing the substantive level they are all same. That's what has to be understood. At substantive level I should know what is the world and who am I. So who am I? Inquiry, you say I am not this, I am not this, what is happening? I am eliminating every this as not me. So the world I am not, because it is object for my knowledge. Body I am not, because I say this is my body. Mind I am not, because this is my mind. Remember, even saying that this is my mind, I have to use mind though. I am using the mind to say that I am not the mind. I am not the intellect, buddhi, I am an engineer, doctor, I know this, all those things essentially objectifiable entities. And I am not that also, because I am the very subject who is a knower of that. What is known is different from a knower. Knower is a conscious entity, known is an unconscious entity. Every object is unconscious. I am a conscious entity, I claim. Therefore, who am I? Inquiry keeps removing everything that I can objectify. I am becoming not this world, not this body, not this mind, not this intellect, because everything is objectifiable. I am what? I am pure conscious existence. In the process, I am excluding everything as I am. And that's where the problem becomes. I am becoming a smaller and smaller and smaller. And some Acharya says, Anu Pramanat. I am only Anu. Anu means they interpret Anu as the small atomic size. So they take a tip of the hair, and if you make 1,000 parts of the tip, then I am of that size. That's what they interpret. Bhagavan Ramanuja and as well as Madhvacharya and other Acharyas, even in the Nyaya and all that, Nyaya, Patanjali Yoga, everything you can think of except Advaita Vedanta, everyone says that I am very small. Because I am not this, I am not this, I am excluding. So who am I? Inquiry does not give me the fact that I am infinite. How can I be infinite? I am becoming even smaller and smaller. So along with who am I? Inquiry, I need to know what is this world that I am rejecting. What exactly I am rejecting also I should know. That's why you had to go, scripture says, you had to go approach a teacher, and that is Srotavyaha, Mantavyaha, Nididhyasitavyaha. Tavya means you have to do. There is no other shortcuts. Guru cannot touch you and make you knowledgeable. No, nothing of that will work. Only one means for this. That means knowledge. Knowing who am I and what is this world. For that only Vedanta is a pramana. Is a means of knowledge. It's a means of knowledge because it's not something I can see. I cannot see infinity. And something that I can logically deduce, because logic itself depends upon pratyaksha pramana. For a validation of the data has to depend upon the experimental data. A physicist may theorize it. I can have theories, but somebody asks, what is the proof? I have to show some experiments for him to prove. That means it's again pratyaksha pramana, direct perceptual data. Whether I use a microscope or a telescope or thermoscope, I have to prove my theory by experiments. That's called pratyaksha pramana. So logic cannot stand by itself, but that's why naisha tarke navatera pareya. You cannot logically deduce this. Then how does scripture will tell? Scripture does not show you you are this, because then it's an objectification. Then what good is this scripture? Scripture only, and to the person who has prepared his mind. That's what the qualities of the student is required, who is ready to inquire by dropping all his misconceptions in the direction pointing out, called lakshyartha. So teacher uses the lakshyartha depending upon the student to look in the direction, and for that student, for that teacher, pointing in what? Pointing into that which is totality. So I had to leave everything and jump. It's called just like pole vault. Example is pole vault. Pole vault is, remember, you take a pole, you run and put the pole and go all the way across the pole. And then what do? You have to leave the pole and jump on the other side. No, I don't want to leave the pole. You will be stuck. So you have to leave everything here. This, use in the direction. Use the pole. You need a pole. Use the pole to go beyond the pole, that is horizontal pole. And in the process, give up everything and you will lose. Oh my God, it's very complicated. This is what you do every day when you go to deep sleep state. How do you go to deep sleep state? You don't travel there. You drop everything, and this problem, that problem, every problem you drop, and constantly I want to sleep. You glide and you won't even know when you go to sleep. The time-wise, space-wise, completely gone. Exactly identical in that sense, where you cannot really go, but the mind understands the absolute truth there. So srotavyaha says you are that. It's not an understanding as a fact, as J. Krishnamurti says. It's an understanding. It's not understanding as a thought, but it's an understanding as a fact. So to understand what is this world, I have to see how I am the totality also. For that, scripture says how the creation occurred. So it provides you a process for me to think, so that everything is nothing but I am. What was there before creation? Creation before is pure Satchidananda was there. And it thought and decided to become many. So why did it decide to become? That's why one has to listen to scriptures properly. What exactly means? Why did it become in this way many, not other way many? These are questions. That's why for a questioning mind, until it is satisfied, you cannot really skip over it. For that only you have to do srotavyaha. Srotavya means you have to listen to the scripture, Shruti, through a teacher, because scripture doesn't teach itself. And obviously the teacher himself has studied the scripture, so I have to do appropriate. So I have to approach a teacher who is himself has studied the scriptures. So if he doesn't know the scripture, there is no point, he cannot teach me. If I doesn't know the physics and I want to go approach, so please teach me physics, what good is that? So I need to know a teacher who I can approach, And I should know he is a Srotriya and also Brahmanishta according to the scriptures. Since I cannot evaluate Brahmanishta, assume if he knows the scripture, he knows how to teach, I assume that he understood the problem correctly. Therefore he can teach. Whether he has Brahmanishta or not is not of my business, because I cannot find out anyway. I don't even have to ask him, but a teacher is the one who directs the disciple to the scripture as a pramana, not to himself. Because his experience don't mean anything to me. I want to experience. If I go and eat you laddu and say, what happens, sir? Laddu is so good, how good is that me? I had to experience that myself. This is the it's not an experience type of there, because in all experiences there is an experiencer, experience, and that called division. Triputi is there. Experiencing, knower, known, knowing, swimmer, swimming, and the process of this knowledge of swim. In all this there are always minimum 3 are there. And recognition of that is basically involves Shrotravyaha, to listen to the scriptures. How long I have to listen? According to Shastra, is a prolonged length of time, consistent, systematic study of scriptures required until there are no more doubts. Why do I need a teacher for that? Because the scripture teaches in a mystical language to point out in the direction where I have to drop it. It is the eye of the eye, mind of the mind. So what is eye of the eye and the mind of the mind and the ear of the ear? And is that because of it is beyond everything? Na vak gacchati na manaha, no speech can go there. Yan manasa na manute enahur manomatam tadeva brahmatvam viddhi nedam yadidam upasate. You are doing upasana, puja and all that. Drop that now. You are coming to the Vedanta class where it says that the yan manasa na manute, that mind cannot think. Mind can only think objects. It's not an object. Then what do I do? Yan manasana manute yenahur manomatam, that because of which mind has the capacity to think. That is Brahman, not the. So I have to think, what is that because of which I have the, my mind is conscious. Because only conscious entity can think. Mind doesn't have consciousness. So I'm looking at the moon and say, that because of which the moon is shining. It's not the moon, it's not the moonlight, it is that because of which moon has the light. That sunlight I have to recognize while looking at the moon and while looking at the sun or the moonlight. Because without the moon I cannot recognize the sunlight. So I need the mind to say that I am not the mind, but I am that because of which the mind has become a conscious entity. Chudochidabhasa. All that Vedantic studies required, and without any crystal clear understanding has to be there. Srotavyaha, mantavyaha. One has to contemplate on it so that there is no doubts anymore. Crystal clear knowledge. Also, what's required is understanding that nothing else is required other than crystal clear knowledge. What is that? It means not only that the world is nothing but the pure consciousness, that's what the scripture tells you. So existence alone was there before creation. Existence of Aichada Bahusyam Prada Eti, it itself became many. What was there before is Atma was there before Idamagramasi. The only consciousness entity alone was there and it became many. Ananda was there before and it became many. So each scripture pointing in a different direction to the same truth, because that is what it is Satchidananda. Satchidananda is not a property of that. It is that which is beyond any properties. It's Swarupam, its intrinsic nature itself. Ananda means Anantameva Ananda. It is infinite, therefore it is Ananda. Because any limitation causes unhappiness. And therefore it is pure existence, because it has to be it's not a non-existent entity, so it has to be existent entity. And it has to be conscious entity, because unconscious, it's not unconscious entity. Therefore, it is Sat Chidananda, and consciousness is infinite. That's what scripture says. Prajnanam Brahma. All that has to be systematically, self-consistently, samanvayam. Saman means self-consistency in the teaching, because each scripture is pointing from different angle depending upon the teacher and the student who is asking the question. One student goes, sir, please teach me, knowing which I know everything. Says, if you know Brahman, you know everything. As in principle. If I know gold, all gold ornaments I know. Because nothing, only a few superficial attributes of a ring and a bangle and a necklace, which doesn't have value other than for transaction purposes. Value depends upon only on the amount of gold there. That understanding has to be there. That's called Srotavyaha and Mantavyaha. So contemplating on it, and that's what is required. And that means I should know I am, who am I, and what is that? That is Tat Padartha Vichara. And also, I am the very substantive for the whole universe also. Because when I say I am existent consciousness, and the world is nothing but existent itself, and it cannot be proved unless I am conscious of it, because I know this is a chair, this is a table, and how do I know? Consciousness that I am pervades the object for me to know that I am conscious of the object also. This is called how perception occurs, and all that been discussed in my previous talks and also in the other talks as well. All that becomes have to be known, and that is where I am, who am I, what is this world, and I recognize that not only I am, all this world that I think, that ups and downs and all that suffering and everything is only mithya, nama rupatmikam jagat, and I am the very substantive of the whole jagat. Therefore, there is no reason for me to suffer for anything, because I am only that, I am already pervading that. So ring doesn't have to say I am the gold that pervades the bangle and the necklace and all that too. Although I am in the ring form right now, can become a bangle form or necklace form. Form is not my nature. The truth is, I am the very substantive that supports the ring and the bangle and the necklace. I am that Brahman that substance the individual here as well as the collective there. That is the Asi, Tattvamasi statement. I am full by my own self as I am. That self that I am is pervading the whole universe. I am the very substantive. That understanding is required. And also I said, I had to understand that there is nothing more to understand and nothing more to gain also, because I am infinite already. I am full and complete by myself. That also realization has to come. Provided I need to go to teacher and listen to the scriptural study for a prolonged length of time. So what else I have to do? If I have to ask what else I have to do, that means you have to study again, because it says that's all you need to do, understanding. If the question is still not clear, or if the doubt is still, says I have studied the scriptures, now I have to sit down and meditate. On what? I am not there in the meditation, I am there I have to meditate on the teaching itself to understand clearly, more crystal clearly, that I am indeed full. So, Srotavyaha, Mantavya is enough if I understood as that I am infinite, period. Nothing more is required. Even though I understood that I am infinite, I am not able to feel. The mind is not able to feel. Intellectually I have understood. That's why people say you have to do the mind also has to be there. Emotionally, because I am still attached to this, and that. That's a problem. That means I have not purified my mind sufficiently to claim that I am infinite. It's a claiming only. I understand I am infinite, but how come I need this means you are not understood. I can have this, I need not, transactionally I can transact, but whether I come or not, I am all happy by myself. I do not depend on anybody, anything for my happiness. That is understanding. And for that, I had to do contemplation and inquiry called nididhyasanam to get rid of the obstacles that for me to claim what I understood already. That's what called nididhyasitavyaha. And so that's why most of the people say, I understood Vedanta, but I am not able to claim Aham Brahmasmi. Then where is the problem? If I understood, there is nothing else to do. But claiming my understanding is because of lingering raga dveshas, ahankara, mamakara, raga and desha. This is called the four aspects of it. And there can be dushta chatushtayam, these four things that need to be eliminated. And what should I do? Originally it has to be done by karma yoga, upasana yoga, they can be eliminated. But if not eliminated, if I am able to listen to scriptures, then continue listen to scriptures. This Sravanam and Mananam itself will eliminate the rest of the raga dveshas. And what do I get? What Swami Paramarthananda is FIR reduction. Slowly, I abide in the knowledge that I am. So as I abide in the knowledge, the frequency of my perturbation goes down. I don't get perturbed that frequently. And intensity of perturbation also goes down. So essentially, it's not that deep. It's a superficial. Yes, I'm affected, but I recover quickly. And the recovery time also becomes reducing. Time also reduces. And this is a slow process depending upon the amount of remaining raga dveshas. How do I know raga dveshas? After the class is over, if the mind is running around, I want this and I am agitated because of the gaining things or excited. If I am getting things, that means I still have raga dveshas. Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha, sukeshu vigataspruha, vita raga bhayakrodaha, sitadhihi muniruchyate. That's what Krishna, he is the sitadhi. He is abiding in the knowledge. So to abide in the knowledge, I don't go up and down, even though everything is just as before, nothing will change. The body pains will still be there, knee pains will be there, hearing will go down, the seeing will go down, because those belong to the Prakriti. And slowly I have to abide in the knowledge. And therefore, to reach this goal ultimately, this is the essence of life itself. Not only this life, life of so many lives, because this is punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, jatare sayanam, ya samsare bahudustare. This samsara will go on until I claim myself who I am, and so on. With this, we will stop here with this talk series, and we will be taking the Memorial Day camp in terms of spiritual awakening itself as a sadhana. There, those who want to listen those talks, if they get recorded, and they will be put in the YouTube by the Advaita Academy. So I want to express my sincere thanks to the Advaita Academy for providing this opportunity, and also Jayanti, who is doing all the recording process for her patiently every day, sitting, whether she understands or not. She'll be doing continuously. I've been doing for all, essentially we did for 5 months doing Panchadasi, and now this short talks on the how to succeed in life. And all other people who are behind the scene, there are Sri Kiran Vadlamani, who is the Advaita Academy, and Srinivas, and then Bhargavan, then Anjali. They're all behind in this, and they are the ones who are converting the talk series into YouTube and putting into the YouTube and in the Advaita Academy. My thanks to all of them, and for those who are listening to the talks, for their support also. With that, I will stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.